Several years ago, when I had just a bunch of little kids in my home, I was feeling the need to be a good mom and to really buy into this whole parenthood thing and not just let it pass me by. And there was a meeting that was being held. Somebody in my church was giving this presentation on family culture. And so I showed up, and I remember sitting in the audience and thinking, why do we have to learn about family culture? Like, if we have a family, don't we automatically have family culture? Like, how can you possibly disentangle those two ideas? Well, as she sat and she taught me everything she could about being very intentional in being a parent and really taking on motherhood as a form of creating great environments and wonderful people, it occurred to me that actually you do not necessarily have a family culture just because you have a family. And that is a little bit of a bummer, but it also is very empowering because it allowed me to realize that as a mom, the actions that I take toward creating a family culture really make a difference because it doesn't happen automatically. And I think in other time periods, it probably did happen more automatically because societally and culturally, everybody did things the same way. And so there was this big idea of what family culture ought to be because it was basically just a smaller unit of what everybody's culture was. But now we're kind of fractured as a society and as a culture. And so if we want to make a family culture, we have to be very intentional about it, have a plan, and really push forward on it. And the other thing that really impacted me and made me feel like family culture is not only important, but it's something that I need to do so intensely is I read in the closing of The American Mind, it said, with all of the protections that have been given to families over time, families have not been able to maintain any content of their own. And then it went on to describe how we kind of wander around the houses and just look in the cupboards and sleep in the beds and wear the clothes and then, grow older and move out. And we don't pick up any of the cues or any of the important parts of being human in society that we're supposed to be getting from our family because our families have just dissolved into basically, I will provide for you until you can provide for yourself, as if the family's main purpose is just money. And I think, wow, we have really, really fallen a long way if we really believe that all we are offering as family is money. Especially because some of us don't offer like a ton of money to our kids. And so that feels like that had just better not be the goal because I'm not necessarily even hitting that one. But there's a much bigger goal when it comes to being a family. I want people to leave my home feeling like they not only know who they are, but they know who they are in relation to me and my husband and their siblings, as well as everybody in society. I want them to understand their relationship and their role with everybody. And you can really only get that when you have a strong family culture. So family culture is really built of all of the traditions and all of the ways that you interact with each other, all of the expectations, all of the roles that you fulfill, and that changes over time. Sometimes you fulfill roles of being a counselor to each other, or maybe you're an encourager, maybe you're the cheerleader, or maybe you're kind of setting the line and saying, nope, that's the boundary, you can't go past there. All of those roles are super important in creating a solid individual, and it's really a big part of family culture. So I'm going to make another video that just talks about a lot of the different ways that we do family culture in our family, because there are a lot, but I already made a video on this once and I put them all in here and it was just completely overwhelming. So I just wanted to make a quick video before I go into all the details to let you know that family culture is not only not present in a lot of society, but it's vital. If we want our kids to move out of our houses and feel like they are capable of contributing to their family, to growing a whole nother family, they need to feel confident in what they're watching, to not only pick up the skills of cooking and cleaning and budgeting and caring after each other, but to really recognize that the relationships that they form with everybody in their sphere, whatever that is, whether it's be their family or the people they interact with outside of the family, that they are capable of making good relationships, and that all starts in the home. They gain that confidence by having those moments and those conversations with you, and all of the ways that you gather your children and all of the ways that you listen to them and you make time for them. This is going to develop a self-esteem and a character that's willing to go out in the world and really become for themselves in ways that's going to make everything so much better in their personal family, in their society, in everything. It all comes down to how you're interacting with your kids in your family on a daily basis, which sounds huge and enormous and overwhelming, but the great news is that so much of it feels right. that when you start doing it, it has that natural return feeling to it of like, yes, that's right. That absolutely feels good that the first thing in the morning, I am holding on to my little kids and I'm listening to them and I'm taking time for them. It is satisfying and it is fulfilling. When you are really doing the things that build family culture, you get so much sense of accomplishment in the moment, and then you're also going to have accomplishment over time. So building a family culture is so satisfying on so many levels. That is it. I want you guys to know that what you do and every step you take to build your family culture is making an impact on the world around you. It's making a huge impact on your family, and it's also going to help them through generations as they pass that on to their kids, and it goes on and makes just such a beautiful place over time. You are doing a fabulous job. You're doing a much better job than you think you are. It is really, really important what you do. Keep it up, and I will catch you on the next one.